Good morning, friends. So I wanted to come back to you and tell you a little bit more about Fiat 90, Nineveh 90, Exodus 90, and what's that all about. I'm going to talk to you more today about the second half of those retreats. So here we go. First, I wanted to apologize if you're an adult doing Fiat 90 or Exodus 90. I didn't mean to diss you. Found out the Diocese of Joliet actually has it at the cathedral for men and women. Most of the places I found that were doing it were colleges. But apparently some dioceses are kicking it off. And really, this sounds like a great program. They're kicking off with adoration, a keynote speaker testimony, and you could sign up for your small groups. They had that last Friday. But you could still totally join, even if we're already into the 90 days, but just by a day or two. So go ahead and sign up if you want. Let's see. The reasons for Fiat 90 gives. It says, come to know God better through prayer and fasting. Take a break from the distractions of TV and social media and meet weekly with other Fiat 90 women. It's also one of the things for women is to slow down that multitasking. Multitasking can be a strength of women, but it's also a temptation that leads to crazy chaos. I think we all know exactly what they're talking about. I mean, today I went out to my regular knitting group because I had so much chaos going on the last couple days. I was like, I just need the peace of my girls. Like, I'm going to go and knit and I'm going to relax and it's going to be great. And I got there and it was actually too quiet for me and I was going bonkers for a while. And life is like that, right? We get into multitasking. We get into running around, putting out fires and saving everybody, being all mama bear and saving everybody. And you get used to it. You get used to that adrenaline rush. You get used to that craziness. That's like why there's a social media fast is because you get used to that instant. And you start to crave it. And when it's not there, you go crazy. Like, I just heard my phone go off. I know it's Diane. And I know she's actually talking to me about the show, but I can let it go. It'll happen when it happens. Like last night, my husband was like, your phone's going off. I'm like, hey, if somebody's dying, they can call me. It's just a text. I'm going to sleep. And then I was like, great. Now that you said it to me, I'm going to worry about it all night. And so I did look at it and it was, it was somebody making a snide remark. And I really didn't need to see that before I went to bed. But it's funny because through this program, just talking to you guys every day and the things I've learned, when I research things for you guys, I learned so much. Like, I love this. I hope you're benefiting from it too. And with my pastoral studies degree that I had gotten recently and my Franciscan formation, a lot of Franciscan formation, remember we talked about the no drama llama mama. And a lot of it is that it's entering into dialogue and not taking things so personally, understanding that people have wounds and triggers. So some crazy things happened yesterday and I was able to laugh them off and I thought I was going to, my husband said about that text message and I looked at it and it was kind of snotty. I was like, I would not like to be that person and feel that way. That must suck for her. And I kind of got the best night's sleep I have in forever because I kind of understand people's feelings get hurt and it's easy, when lines of communication break down for our feelings to get hurt more easily because we're not really communicating our feelings. And some people ask me about why do I make those goofy videos with my husband? But honestly, it gets us laughing and interacting more and in new ways. And we can talk about stuff more easily. I mean, we have a pretty darn good marriage, but anytime we can improve it, we're going to jump on that chance and just taking that little time out every now and then to be silly and relax together and really interact. It's a temptation this day and age, isn't it? To just turn on Netflix and you're technically hanging out with your spouse, but are you really? You're not connecting. You're not communicating. So even doing these little taste tests and stuff, it's just fun stuff that we're doing together and learning little things about each other that we didn't know. And I'm really enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying watching them. The one with Diane we were talking about, there was so much laughing going on. It's kind of fun. It's like getting to know people. Even my little quiz shows, I get to know people in kind of a low pressure environment because there's no wrong answers. I'm just honestly asking them questions that maybe I should be asking people in daily conversation. Like, I don't know. I hang out with women all the time, and do I take the time to say, hey, what's your conversion story? What are the things that are meaningful in your life? We talk about stuff that happens every day, and sometimes we do talk about really important stuff, but do I take the time to really make that connection? And that's something we need to slow down and do. And so that's one of the reasons for the Fiat 90, Exodus 90, Nineveh 90. Take that break, slow down on the multitasking, and take time to really develop your friendships. And one of the friendships we're going to be working on is our friendship with Mary. Just like with a boyfriend, a husband, a good friend, you need to work on your relationship. And Mary and Consecration is one of the ways to work on your relationship with Mary. Now, some of you watching this may not be Catholic, and you're like, consecration to Mary, you Catholics are crossing a line. But it's actually consecration to Jesus through Mary. Because it's through Mary that we got Jesus, right? She gave birth to him. And so we go to her and make friends with his mother to get to know him better. She spent all that time pondering those things in her heart. Why not ask her to share those things with us? So Mary and Consecration, there's really two forms out there right now. There is the hardcore St. Louis de Montfort one, and I'm going to put some links in the show notes. That's another fancy term for the description of this podcast. I put links in there. I hope you guys are seeing them. So one of the great ones to do, of course, you can get St. Louis de Montfort's book. It's an old book, so it's available probably in any ebook format for free. If you need it, of course, I like to write my books and stuff, and so I like a hardcore book, but the ebook is also great because you can have it for on the go, right? You don't have to worry about carrying. I end up carrying 7 or 8 books, and it's kind of crazy. So maybe my husband's always like, just because your backpack has that many pockets doesn't mean you need to fill them all. But I do. Anyway, so an ebook is a good choice for you, especially if you have a decent sized phone that you can read them on or a small tablet that you carry around. So you could get St. Louis de Montfort's Mary and Consecration. I believe it's called True Devotion to Mary is the official title. You can probably get that in any ebook format you want. But I would also ask you to consider, and it's probably up here behind me somewhere, Johnnette, and it's probably under Johnnette Bankovic. I don't know if they changed her name on the publications yet to Johnnette Bankovic Williams or Johnnette Williams. So Women of Grace, Johnnette Bankovic Williams, did a while ago where she read it out loud. It was an audiobook. I think I may have it on CDs that I then ripped into MP3s, but it's probably also available, especially if you have Women of Grace exclusive. It may be free for you online. I'm not sure, but go to the Women of Grace website and look in their resources. So she actually read it. She made it into an audiobook, so it's great if you want to listen to. I don't know if you do reflective stuff in the car. I don't know if that's a great idea. I don't drive yet. I have my driver's permit. I don't drive yet, so I don't know if that's something that you can really do in the car is meditate to stuff. But if you're going out there for a coffee break to hang out in your car, or you take walks at lunch, or you walk the dog, I enjoy listening to her when I walk the dog. I love listening to True Devotion from St. Louis de Montfort. And the crazy thing is, I put it on the shuffle playlist, so they're not even in order anymore. I find that since I've already done the Mary and Consecration, that's a great refresher, because I may just listen to one, and listening to them out of order, I still get so much from it. It's really weird, but it totally works. That's actually how I studied for my comprehensive exams for my master's in pastoral studies. I know, it's crazy. That's how I studied, was listening to Johnnette read St. Louis de Montfort's True Devotion to Mary. And I really enjoyed that. So check that out. You can probably find that on Women of Grace. So you can find it free online. You can buy the book. You can do it with Women of Grace, Johnnette Williams, or you can do, Father Michael Gately has a very famous one out now. If your church is doing the Hearts of Fire program, you've probably already seen this. If your church is running the Christ Life program, I encourage you as a follow-up to that to run the Hearts of Fire program. Hearts of Fire program is run by Marian Press. That's the Divine Mercy Fathers. So you can find out all the information you need there. This is one of the books in the series. And it is a series, and Father Michael's getting ready to release a new book. So you want to see it. Father Donald Calloway just came out with a devotion to St. Joseph. You may want to check that out. But that is probably, a lot of people did that for Christmas. So set that one aside, I would say right now, until after Easter. So if you're doing any of the 90s and you're going to do a Marian Consecration, I don't know if you're doing the St. Louis de Montfort version or you're doing this. It's 33 days to morning glory because it's a 33-day program. I know, you're probably totally shocked. So the book is awesome. It's like a do-it-yourself retreat, but they do encourage you to do small retreats. And it literally, each week you study a different saint. Of course, in this one, it starts with St. Louis de Montfort. And it goes day by day with what you do. And there's a little prayer. You add a little snippet. So we're on week 1, day 3. The little prayer is, "Come, Holy Spirit, living in Mary, give me the grace to reject Satan and follow Christ more closely." And so every day you add a tiny bit of the prayer. And what I did was I had index cards and I just added each line. But you could totally do it on your phone, like on the notes section of your phone, and just add to it. You can make an audio file out of it and pray it that way. Now, if you're doing the book is great. You can do it on your own. You're totally good. One of the other free resources with this is online. There are tons of daily reflections, tiny little videos done by friars, by lay people. Everyone's done them. There's tons of them out there. So there's a short little reflection video that you can watch for free. Just search for them on YouTube. You'll find them. Now, the really great way, if you want to have some friends and you're doing this in a group, I encourage you to go to the Marian Press website, and you can, or Shop Divine Mercy might be another location you can find it. Sometimes your Lighthouse Catholic Media kiosks are going to have this as well, so you might want to contact your Lighthouse representative. So the other way, the full kit, though, is there's also a workbook. Now, they don't call it a workbook. They're calling it a retreat companion, because a companion is someone who goes by your side, like I was talking about earlier, that asks you those questions every day, and you get into reflection with them in meaningful conversations. So this is the place where you have that. It has a spot for taking notes and stuff. So there is, as in here, you would watch the DVDs. You will actually buy DVDs and watch them in a small group that you're going to meet with once a week. So daily, you're still going to be doing this book. You still can watch those little daily snippet reflections. And then you're going to go and write in your workbook every day as you go along. But then you're going to hit these small group sessions once a week where you'll go and discuss it with your friends, new friends or old friends, with your friends. And as well, there's a short little DVD you can watch that wraps up the week and really brings it home. And when you talk about it with your friends, it's going to make it more concrete. So you use the book daily so that you're going to have those notes all ready to discuss with your friends. See, and that's just a great way. And then you can do your consecration together as a group. It makes it more meaningful, and you can remind each other of it often. It's even maternal mediation. I'm in week 4, day 23. Mediators stand between persons or parties to bring unity and agreement. They speak to each side, clarify issues, seek concessions, and urge acceptance from each. With whom and in which relationships do you act as mediator? Or do you avoid such a role? And if so, why? Are you successful in your attempts to bring unity to two friends, coworkers, or family members? What role does mercy or charity play in your mediation? There's some deep questions in here. Some are really simple just to reinforce the concept, and then some of these really are challenging. And so I encourage you, friends, this book is lovely. The very first time I did it, I just did the book. Just the book. The second time I did it, I added all the DVDs and the daily reflections and did the retreat companion. Got so much more out of it, so you can go through. We're always talking about taking things deeper. So if you just have a little bit of time, you can't find other people want to do this with you, maybe do the book and watch the daily reflections online, and then consider next year getting together a big group to do this. And because this doesn't really start for a while, a lot of people that are doing it for the Nineveh 90, Exodus, Fiat, are doing it so that they end up during the Easter weekend. So you'll actually do your Marian consecration on Good Friday. So you have plenty of time to get materials and find a group to do this if that's all that you want to do. If you don't want to do the full 90 days. Get some friends together, do the Marian consecration. Imagine being able to be there with Our Lady at the foot of the cross. On one hand, she's going to be consoling you. On the other hand, maybe you can offer her a tiniest bit of consolation as she is there pondering the mystery of her Son, who is her Savior and God. At the foot of the cross, Jesus gave John to his mother. He gave the church to his mother that she could care for us and love us and protect us. So let's meet her there at the foot of the cross and really, really contemplate Jesus and bring ourselves to him this Easter. That would be such a beautiful devotion, friends. I encourage you to try that. Get out there. If you're not doing a 90-day program already, find some friends that you can do a Marian consecration with. If you've already done it, find a way to go a little more deeply into it, or invite some friends that haven't done it before. You could be the leader. You could be the ones bringing them to Jesus through Mary. So friends, have a blessed day. Please, if these videos are encouraging you at all, don't forget to put something down in the comments, like, share, and subscribe. God bless you, friends.